exhibition. Massive terminal. It's a bit bonkers here. The security is like way tighter than at the airports we've been to. Like they check everything. Slightly bizarre thing, I've got little Bushy the bush knife, and twice security stopped me about it and told me I couldn't have it. But then they said I could have it if I bought them breakfast or gave them a bribe, and I was just like, nah, I've got no money, I can't, you can just keep it. And they didn't want it, so they just let me keep the knife on the train, even though it's illegal. So we are in coach 10, which inconveniently turns out to be right at the very end of the platform. So we're on the SGR. Thoughts?
It's really nice. I have said that I am not going to fall asleep on the entire journey, even though Jazz has informed me that I look like somebody who got up at 5:30 in the morning. Let's see how long I last.
Shame me. You shame me.
I'm still awake.
We've been going for about 10 seconds.
I'm still awake.
She has been as good as her word.
I have not slept for a single second. There is still time though. About 10 minutes.
Well, that was pretty easy. We're 6 hours later and just arrived in Nairobi. That was a much nicer journey than the bus. Very pleasant indeed. Now all we got to do is find our hostel.
Sadly we left without my sunglasses, which made it 3.5 months, which is maybe a new record.
Very smooth train journey. That was not what we were expecting. We were basically stuck in a car taxi for about an hour and a half, just in awful traffic, and then the guy tried to pull a fast one slightly when we got to the end and charge more. We pushed it back, but then we got here and it turns out our room doesn't lock, so we fretted about that, but we found a solution to that. And then we got an email from the UK saying that our washing machine is broken down and our tenants need a new washing machine, so that's going to be about 350 quid, so hence why Zoe's taking a big glug of beer right now. But yeah, we're here in Nairobi. It's kind of a little bit mad that it's like 4 months and a day since we actually landed here on our way to South Africa, and it's, I guess, also a bit crazy that this is our last stop in Africa. We've got 2 days here and then we fly to India. Heinz tomato ketchup, veggie burger, craft beer, like football on the TV. So getting stuck into the hot sauce. Nairobi feels very Western indeed. So today is our first day in Nairobi, and we have come down to the Pallet Cafe, which is like a social enterprise, to get some breakfast. And I think we're going to go to Lavington Mall. We were planning to go to, what's it called?
The Karen Blixen Museum.
The Karen Blixen Museum, but it turns out like it's quite tricky to get in there because you need to have a visa and registration or something. So what we do with the rest of the day is up in the air. So in the back of the cafe they have this little menagerie. After that delightful visit to the Pallet Cafe, we've come back to the hostel where we find ourselves at a bit of a loose end because there's not really anywhere around here we can go to, and if we take a ride into town it's like half an hour there and half an hour back, and we're not really sure what we're to go and see, so just trying to plot our next move. So we've come down to the park and it turns out it's closed, but it's very pretty. But yeah, it's closed, but the nice security guard here has just let us come and have a have a little look inside. Beautiful views, but yeah, we're a bit of a loose end now because we just paid a little bit to come down here, and now we don't want to go straight back, so we're going to just wander the streets of Nairobi and see what we find. Cheers.
Cheers. It's our last fun night in Africa. Tomorrow we're going to be in an airport the whole night, so we're going to see a bar called Bamba next to our hostel, which is really lovely, and we're going to have a couple of drinks and some coffee. Let's go in the video.
Yeah. What is it this morning, sir?
This morning it is our last day in Africa before we go to India. The reason we're whispering is because there's an American guy literally outside our door who sounds like he's having a job interview.
So today is our second and last day in Nairobi. It's also our last day in Kenya, and it's also our last day in Africa. So we're just heading off once again to the Pallet Cafe, which is a social enterprise where all the staff are deaf. So we're going to bring our sign language A game, aren't we, Zoe?
We are. Hello. Please. And thank you.
That's not a business combo you see that often.
I'm really excited to go to India, like just see somewhere like completely different, no idea what it's going to be like. Obviously a bit melancholy, a bit sad that, you know, a third of the trip is now over, and this kind of like symbolises, you know, quite a big chunk of the trip already gone, but there's still 8 months left, which is a very, very long time, and we're still very fortunate that we get to do this for as long as we have been.
After a day of basically sitting, mooching around the hostel, doing not very much, we're in the taxi on the way to the airport to get our flight to India. We're about, in fact it's 6:41 and our flight is due to leave at 6:40 AM, so we're 12 hours early. Be prepared, that's what I say.
I'm determined to stay awake the whole night, but
I believe in you.
It's already very difficult because this is the easiest taxi I've ever been in my life. It just wants me to fall asleep, but I'm not. To stay awake the whole night till our flight. So we've got 12 more hours to go.
It's the last African sunset we'll see. Well, we made it to the airport in one piece. It is now 7:30 in the evening, so yeah, just 11 hours to go. One of the reasons we're here so ridiculously early is because the power went out in our hostel, which was related to the long line of things that weren't that great about that hostel. So instead of just sitting in the dark, we thought we'd come down here where we've got Wi-Fi and coffee and things like that, so we've got a long way ahead of us. This says it's the rules for card game Monopoly, but it actually reads like dialogue for a Fast and Furious movie.
We are now halfway through our 12 hours at the airport. It's 2:30 in the morning. Going strong, got an hour so we can check in. Feeling a little bit delirious, a little bit spaced out, but it's all good, it's all good. It's now 3:20. I'm at the other end now, no longer tired. Time has no meaning. Tiredness is just a concept. 6:30 just feels like 6:30 feels inevitable now.
Well, that was ridiculously stressful. So we got to the check-in after being up for like 22 hours or something. Got to the check-in and they said, oh, you can't get on the flight because you don't have a flight out of India. So we had to quickly sit back down at 4 in the morning, book a flight from Calcutta to Singapore on the 1st of May. Kept refusing my card, so there was about a 10-minute period where it looked like we were just going to be stuck in Kenya. Then we got the flight, so we had proof of that, and as we got to the checkout, she then said like, oh, you haven't printed out the right visa document. When we had, she was like, there should be a link. She tried to make us click an email address because she thought that was a web link. It wasn't. Eventually she let us through. Then we got to load on the baggage and they were like, oh, your baggage is the wrong shape. so you've got to move it all around and put all these things inside other bags, and we're just generally like arseholes about our bags, which have been through several airports at this point and no one's ever complained about it. And then we finally got through immigration, but we've got our boarding passes, we're at the gate. So as stoic as ever.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
And yeah, it looks like with a fair wind we're going to be on this flight all right, and hopefully touching down in Mumbai in about 8 hours time. So after that drama, we are treating ourselves to a well-deserved pre-flight beer. Cheers.
Cheers.
Unfortunately, we didn't even get to enjoy those beers because an hour and 20 minutes before the flight is due to depart, we've been called to the gate for another documents check. Like, not us specifically, but everyone. But yeah, don't fly Indigo, guys. Not a great experience so far. It was a very noble effort. That is it. Exactly 24 hours after I woke up, we are just getting on the plane. So, will we make it to India? I mean, yeah, obviously we make it to India because otherwise you wouldn't be seeing this, or unless we pre-recorded it, in which case you would see it, but it would still be in the video because I've edited it. So yeah, we make it to India.
And you can find out what we get up to in Mumbai in the next video.